All right, let's talk about the 2-0 Tampa Bay Baker Mayfields, if you will, as Baker somehow has looked good, I thought, through a couple weeks. Now, I'll, start off with saying I'm probably not as high on Mayfield's performance as maybe some of the most diehard Tampa Bay fans are. I am a Buccaneers fan myself, but I try to remove my biases as much as possible, although, of course, they're going to creep in to some degree. I am human as well. I thought there were some errors, but as a whole, I thought this was a good performance from Mayfield. Let's start off, let's just start off with his best play of the game, the most exciting play from Tampa Bay, really doing a lot of good stuff on these long situations. This is 2nd down and 12 here. Baker made some really good throws on 3rd down and 10 plus in this game to get those conversions, which are not easy to do, and quarterbacks have to make tough throws. Also, sorry, I was looking at the wrong page on my screen. This is 3rd down and 14, not 2nd down and 12, which is what I thought. I should have double check. But anyway, 3rd down and 14. Gonna have a deep shot to Mike Evans down the field, which, has to be mentioned. Not only do I think the Bears defense in general is a rough unit, they're injured as well, so that doesn't make things a lot easier. But still, what do you do if you're in that situation? You take advantage. As you see, Mayfield's going to take the snap right here. He looks downfield towards Evans. He fires downfield towards Evans, and Evans is open, winning his one-on-one matchup pretty severely. Safety is trying to get over and make a play, but he can't quite get over in time, it doesn't look. But also, look at this ball from Mayfield. I mean, that's exactly where you want to put it, because you do have to deal with essentially 3 defenders, a safety, a defensive, a corner, and the barrier, throwing it towards the sideline. That's just an extra issue you have, but Mayfield was able to take advantage right there. Also, credit to Brisker, could have kind of laid out Evans. I didn't think did that, kind of just made a regular football play trying to go for the ball. So, good move by him, not hitting a defenseless receiver. Sure, part of it was doesn't want to flag, but regardless. But let's get into some negatives as well. I want to talk about both, and I thought that he started the game actually pretty rough. First play of the game for Mayfield, I guess second play of the game for him, 2nd down and 8. You have, Chris Godwin and Mike Evans on the same side of the field, so pretty good idea of where this ball is going. The idea is Godwin runs kind of a shorter route that's going to cut, and the goal of that route is to get the players who are moving over the middle of the field further in. Evans runs just past him, and hopefully there is now a window to make the throw. And when this play begins, you're going to see exactly why this play can work and also why it can fail, because the first part of the play worked. It cleared you a window to be able to get the ball to the second level, get it to Mike Evans. The issue is that, there still are players further deep. It was quarters coverage, and it's Brisker, again, who is making a really good read on this play. As you see, he nearly gets that interception. Looks like a little bit of contact with him and Evans meant that he wasn't able to actually pick it off, but that could have maybe even been a pick 6 had he come up with it cleanly. Actually, I don't think he would have gotten a pick 6. I think Godwin was ready to make a tackle, but still, you would have set up, not first and goal, but first and near goal, first and inside the red zone right off the bat. So, an error there. I also thought that this is that 2nd down and 12 play that I accidentally teased earlier, where what's going to happen is it is a zone coverage play, and it's a good concept. I thought that as a whole, the play calling was pretty good in this one, which is kind of weird to say after that Leftwich year last year. It feels a lot better in the Canales era, where what's going to happen is it's concept designed to get Godwin open down the field. You have your first receiver who's going to run a deeper route. It's a tight end, but that's hopefully going to take the safety away, at least get him further deep. And then you have Godwin kind of fake as though he's just going up towards the sideline, but then he's going to run deep. The no safety, hopefully it can work. And as you see, when Mayfield takes the snap, that's kind of what's starting off happening. I mean, there is a window to make this throw. The safety can't really come in and make this play. This is probably what should be a touchdown. But as you see, this is a missed throw from Mayfield, and there were a couple of those. There just were. 3rd downs in the red zone weren't particularly great. You want to clean that stuff up, because as great of a game as this was, and Tampa Bay clearly looked like the better team in this one on both sides of the ball, Chicago was able to hang around largely due to the fact that they couldn't convert on a few select plays that kind of do end up being the difference. And, on one hand, you could say, oh, wow, that's not good. They're not converting on that. The flip side is you could say, well, those kind of do fluctuate game in and game out, and hopefully in another game it'll go the other way and you'll be able to do better. We'll see how it works. But as a whole, it wasn't a disaster. Just, there were some negatives as well. I like to talk about both, not just the positives. So to everyone who says when I criticize your favorite quarterback after they have a passer rating of 120 and still bring up their negatives and say, oh, you're just biased. Well, clearly not, because I'm doing it to my favorite team as well. So do it to everybody. But again, there was just some really good stuff for Mayfield. I don't know what exactly to do with this, but this is just so fun. It's just fun seeing this kind of thing happen. Watch as Mayfield is going to run a play action, and he is in pressure right away. This was, it's not really a terrible situation. Not a terrible play, I would say. Tight end flashing around, sometimes you're going to get beat. It is what it is. That's the risk you run with this stuff. But because of that, Mayfield, okay, he has to take a sack here, right? Well, watch him still find a way to get the ball out and flip it to the running back who gains a couple of yards. That's the way the play was designed to work. It was supposed to be a screen there, so it's not like he just did something completely out of the ordinary. But to do it while under pressure, that's really difficult to do. But pressure has not fazed him so far this season. This one was probably the key highlight of the game in general, at least in terms of Mayfield making stuff happen. So the way it's designed to work is it's a, play action rollout towards the top of the screen. And I find it a little weird that Tampa Bay likes to do that so much, have those rollouts towards the top of the screen, because historically that's not what you do, right? Typically, what you instead do is you roll out in a way that, in this scenario, you roll to the offense's right if you have a right-handed quarterback. But again, part of doing it the other way is it can throw defenses off. Well, not this time. As you see, Mayfield's going to run the play action, and he's in, it almost looks like a carbon copy of last play. Not going so well. All right, take the sack, or maybe you can throw the ball away. That's what you got to do here, right? Well, watch Mayfield somehow get out of this, and then he's able to scramble, and I'm going to have to pause it for just a second due to copyright reasons. Can't play a clip for more than 5 seconds usually, or it gets claimed, but, I'll resume it in a second. But, Mayfield's able to turn that into not quite a first down, but gets pretty close, and he's able to do this stuff. Again, it's one of those things that we almost always make fun of other people for saying, but there is something to the it factor, right? Of finding a way to make something out of nothing. And I think a better way to phrase it, and a more intellectually sound way to phrase it, might be that at the end of the day, there are a lot of different variables in football, and sometimes you have to look at a guy and say, if they're getting the ball down the field, if they're finding ways to make stuff happen, that should still be viewed as a positive, even if it doesn't feel totally repeatable, because at the end of the day, there is some relevance to the repeatability of it. So as a whole, where do we go here from Baker? Where do we go here from the Buccaneers? Are they about to win the Super Bowl? Again, long season. We'll have to see how it goes. But I think they've shown that they're a playoff contender at this point. Going 2-0, this is a game they had to win. Got a real rough stretch coming up. I mean, you play the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday Night Football. Then you have the Saints, the Lions, the Falcons, and the Bills. So kind of a murderer's row a little bit, and they even still have some other tough games sprinkled in down the stretch. They play San Francisco at a certain point this year. They play Jacksonville at a certain point this year. Even Green Bay is no slouch. So, not going to be the easiest of schedules, and really what they're going to have to do, I think, to make the playoffs would be to just win the divisional games. I think that's going to decide this division, is those divisional games. I think these teams are all kind of, as of right now, I feel like with the exception of the Panthers, the Saints, Falcons, and Buccaneers all feel about the same level at this point. Who knows? Still a small sample size, but I think whoever can beat up on each other might be the team that takes it. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.